There is a kind of exhaustion that doesn't live in your muscles. It lives behind your eyes, in the place where you've been quietly holding the world together for as long as you can remember. You can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up heavy. You can take a day off and still feel behind. You can rest your body and still feel like something inside you never stopped working. Because it's not your body that's tired. It's the part of you that learned too early how to stay alert. Maybe when you were young, you were the one who noticed when things weren't okay. The one who stayed quiet when others were overwhelmed. The one who adapted, adjusted, and held it all together. You didn't think of it as growing up too fast. You just thought of it as being useful. And now, years later, that usefulness feels like a weight you never quite put down. If you had to grow up too soon, you probably live with a strange mix of strength and weariness. On the outside, you're capable. You handle things. You're the one people rely on. But on the inside, you feel quietly overworked, even when you're doing nothing. You might find it hard to relax without guilt, hard to enjoy ease without feeling like you should be doing something more, hard to let someone else take care of things. This isn't just a personality trait. It's an identity that was built in a very specific way. In psychology, there's a pattern called parentification, when a child becomes the emotional or practical support for the adults around them. It's like being handed a job you never applied for. Your brain learned that being needed was safer than being a child. Then there is hypervigilance, a nervous system that stays alert, scanning for what might go wrong. It's like living with a smoke detector that never fully turns off. And over time, this shapes how your default mode network, the part of the brain that runs when you're not actively doing something, operates. Instead of drifting, it plans. Instead of resting, it worries. Instead of daydreaming, it anticipates. You didn't grow into adulthood. You were pushed into it. And your mind never forgot. When you were young, you probably noticed very quickly that the adults around you were struggling. Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were emotionally distant. Maybe they were unpredictable. So you learned to read the room, to feel the atmosphere, to know when to be quiet, when to be helpful, when to not need too much. You didn't get to be carefree, you got to be careful. And your brain adapted. It wired itself around responsibility, around awareness, around staying ahead of problems. That's why you're tired now, not because you're weak, but because you've been working since you were small. You might notice this showing up in your life now. You might overwork in your career, even when no one is asking you to. You might struggle to ask for help, even when you need it. You might feel guilty resting, as if you're falling behind. In relationships, you might become the caretaker, the listener, the one who holds everything together. Your self-worth might be tied to how useful you are. Your boundaries might be blurry. Your emotions might feel overwhelming or strangely distant. These are not flaws. They are echoes of who you had to be, and noticing them is the beginning of unlearning. You became perceptive, responsible, emotionally skilled. Your brain learned how to manage complexity because it had to. You weren't broken, you were brilliant. Your exhaustion is not laziness. It's the cost of carrying too much for too long. You are not only the strong one, you are also the child who never got to rest. And that child is still inside you, waiting for permission to soften. You don't have to be useful to be worthy. You don't have to be needed to belong. There is a quote by Rainer Maria Rilke. Perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act, just once, with beauty and courage. Your exhaustion is not an enemy, it is a signal, and you are allowed to listen to it now. The goal is not to be fixed, but to become whole. You were never broken.